Welcome to Secrets from the Saddle podcast. I'm Sylvie, your host, fellow cyclist, bike club founder, cycling coach, bike race junkie, just truly super passionate about cycling. My journey with cycling started 20 years ago when I opened a spin studio, started a women's race team, and founded a women's only cycling club called Cycle Fit Chicks. I'm super thrilled to reveal all aspects that make the world of cycling operate. I'm so excited to be able to bring you interesting people from around the world, pro cyclists, recreational cyclists, coaches, event organizers, bike shop owners, everything and everyone you need to know or ever wondered about when it comes to cycling. I know you'll enjoy this episode. Hey friends, this is Sylvie Dow, your host of Secrets from the Saddle, All Things Cycling podcast. And before we get into today's Friday's coaching episode, sorry for the delay, we are going to be talking about our 250th episode, which was actually last week, but let's just say that I want to come in here and I want to share with you everything that's been happening in the last 2 years. A bit of our stats and our top 10 episodes and all the countries that we are in. It's really, really exciting to go in and check out the matrix and the data. But before we get into that, this episode is sponsored by Sarah Jensel, Shopify queen of Sarah Jensel & Co. Do you need help creating an online business you've been dreaming about? Well, it's a good thing you're here because that's exactly what she will help you with. Sarah Jensel is a friend and colleague. She has over 200 years helping build and grow businesses, and today she is helping people build exciting and successful online businesses with Shopify. If you want to build an online store, redesign one, set up email marketing, and need coaching or custom work, Jensel & Co. can help. Their goal is to help you sell more of the amazing products and services that you want to share with the world. Sarah believes that the world would be a better place if more people could build businesses they love. So to help you get started with yours, today you'll save $150 off a new store or redesign. Available for a limited time only. So all you have to do is pop over to www.jansel, Jansel, and AND so janselandco.com/services and let them know you heard this podcast to get a free quote and $150 off today. And let me tell you guys, I've been working with Sarah because I wanted a spot to sell all my services and my clinics and have everything in one spot so that I could automate things. And she has been amazing. So if you have an idea, and she has free webinars right now and a workshop to help anyone prepare right now. If you have an idea for Christmas and you want to open up your store for Christmas, now's the time to think about it and hire or get into her free webinar. So you have to follow Sarah Jensel on Instagram to get into her free webinar. She just had one. I know she's going to have another one. Or join her workshop where you can learn how you can set up your store now so that it's ready for the fall, right? For September, October, when people start shopping for Christmas. So you aren't left behind and losing the money that you could be making now. So remember, $150 off a new store or redesign. If you have something that's not working, maybe you need to have it revamped. This is the time to reach out to Sarah and go to janselandco.com/services. Message them, say you've heard this podcast, and you will get $150 off. All right, so make sure you go and check her out. Thank you so much for Sarah for sponsoring this podcast. Now, let's get into it. All right, friends. So I'm sure you know that my episode is late because I have a great excuse. Tomorrow, our Women's Cycling Club, Cycle for Chicks, which I founded 14 years ago, is going to be hosting our first women's gravel event. So yeah, you've heard it here first. I mean, I'm just super excited. I was just so inspired by Matt Acker and Mark from Coast to Coast and Barry Roubaix, and Brandon from Gravel Cup Canada. And then I just recently, last weekend, went in Ontario to participate in the Reggie Ramble. Like, holy crap. Like, that there is a true gravel event. If I were to say that I was looking for a description, and like Barry Roubaix was good. But this one was much harder than Barry Roubaix, even if it was like -5. This one was harder. They had what they called ambushes, which was basically climbs up quad trails. So just imagine a good mountain bike trail. And there was many of them on the first loop, which was 65K, and I had to do 2 loops, so 2 different loops. But I actually bailed after the first one because I was just feeling a bit spent and I didn't want to push myself. However, and I feel great for that because here's the thing. When you do the math and the timing and everything, I was feeling like, yeah, that 70K, that was like really good. Like that was challenging. That was fun. And I'm like, can I do another 70K like that? But I had a mechanical, it was funny. So here's the thing. Coming up one of the ambushes, I mean, like, I'm climbing like a champ. Like, I like climbing. And I'm a mountain biker too, so these things aren't very hard for me, or I don't find them hard because of the technical background. And you guys, if you're starting gravel with a mountain bike background, like, and you have road, smooth sailing because you've already got that bed of skill set down. It really, really does make a difference. And I could tell between myself and the girls from the club that I was riding with, who were straight up, just road cyclists or just do a lot of gravel road, which is, it's not the same. Like when you get into this technical stuff that looks like a mountain bike trail, it's just like hands down super hard. Anyways, so there's myself and this other girl, Alicia, I think that's her name is. We both got flats at the same spot. And thankfully, because she really needed some help. She was so cute. She didn't know how to use her pump, and she picked up one of those pumps that really suck. And so she used mine, and it's funny because like she pulled out her tube, and then she took out her new tube, and then she put back her old tube. And I was just like, is this your new tube? And she's like, oh my God, I was just sitting there, right? And then, and also, the reason why she got a flat is because I've never seen this before. The rims inside of these wheels don't have rim tape. She didn't have rim tape on them. They were basically plugged with some sort of paint, I guess, that covered up the hole. And for whatever reason, that covering, that plug, broke through one of the nipple holes. And if you've seen it, like a nipple hole on the rim of your bike, it's super sharp, right? Super sharp. That's why you have rim tape over them. And if it's exposed, you can get flats, like pretty easily. And so what I did is I gave her some of my patches to cover it up, because otherwise she'd get another flat. And so anyway, so basically, whatever good spot I had was gone. I think we're there for a good 45 minutes trying to figure things out and pump tires and then get going. And there's so many people who passed us. And anyway, so then we just ended up riding together for the last 30K, which was good. And And but when I rolled in, it was 2 o'clock. And so that would have been 4 hours. We left at like 10:20. And so I was like, oof, if I go out again, I'm going to be back at 6. And I'm going to be super tired and spent for the rest of the week. And I just don't want to be that way. So I took a DNF. People, I have never had a DNF. I would do anything to not have a DNF, but I have a DNF beside my name, and I freaking hate it. But anyways, it is what it is. It's nothing that I can reverse. I'm like, can you just like move my name, put me into the 65K? Like, wouldn't that be great? No. I'm a race organizer. We just like, yeah, sure, honey. So leaving that gave me a huge breath of like what training should look like for gravel riding if I want to do some like serious gravel events. Because these gravel events, like you got a short distance, so I could do short distance really well, or then I could start moving into long distances. So it just like when I came home, I'm like, wow, okay, how am I going to train for this? If I'm going to go back and really crush it this time, like I felt pretty good where I was, but I'm like, I can get a lot better. And I could have been on that podium for sure. But in any case, what I came up with is basically hitting all the mountain bike trails on my gravel bike and just practicing climbing, like, because these ambush climbs were long. Like they were long, like endurance long. Like people, like you get a lot of little punchy hills that you can like, you could see the top, like it's just right there. These you could not see the top. Like they were long. And so I came back and I was just thinking, okay, what kind of trail and hills are around me that are like that? They're just long and slow. And so I came up with a couple. Of course, you go up them, you got to come down them. So you get training both ways, is learning how to come down a hill like that. Being able to trust yourself, stay on your brakes, stay off your brakes, know when to release. And so I messaged some of the girls who were in it because they were saying, like, whoa, if I want to go back there, I've got to train differently. That was the hardest thing I'd ever done. And I'm like, okay, well, this is what I was thinking about. And do you want to train together kind of thing? Because there's one that's coming up, really, Hurton and Halliburton in September. It's a loop, so it's 27K. It's got like 2 hills in it, but they're just punchy short things. Long, flat stuff that make you go out of your mind, and then some rolly, fast stuff. So anyways, that's what I was doing last weekend, and this weekend is our own women's gravel race. There's only 21 people registered. I know people would be like, cancel that thing. But since I have like really minimal expenses because it's so small, we're actually making money. And the really cool thing is that we partnered with the Wakefield municipality of La Pêche, and I've purchased gift certificates for like all of the volunteers. And like, since we only have 21, all of our participants are going to get a gift certificate to go back into the village to spend money, which is really what, I want to do and have people in and this is what Wakefield loves. You have tourism, right? Go in and spend more money, spend the afternoon, have supper, organize yourself. So everybody's getting like gift certificate to go and eat. And then we have some amazing gifts from Fierce Hazel, which I did an episode. She's actually 250. So shout out to Fierce Hazel, Frankie Holt. She sent us some amazing, beautiful gifts to give as prizes. And then we have cash prizes. We have buffs to give out. So it's really cool. It's really fun. And this afternoon, I have to go out and set the course. So it's a pretty basic course. It's only 30K and 53K. The 53K is like a double loop of the 30K. So same signs. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about our 200th episode, which was, Fierce Hazel. But what I want to do is I just want to let you know how good this podcast is going. And I want to shout out to all of my listeners, like you guys. Thank you so much because, without you, this podcast wouldn't be where it is today, wouldn't have the downloads that it has today. And it's just one of those passions that I have for this cycling world. And you know what? Like through this, I've met some amazing people and collaborated with some amazing people like Frankie Holt, Fierce Hazel, and participating in some of the events. And some of the events I've participated in. And, I'm just reaching out to some of these organizers to actually talk with them because I want to make a big event here in Chelsea. It's perfect. It's just like something that we do like Reggie, like keeping people here, having people camp. But anyways, so let's get into some stats. Now, I've only been able to find one location where I could see my audience, and it looks 50-50 for women to men. So thank you, ladies. Thanks, you guys. Now, I started December 15th, 2020, and it's been almost 2020, 21, like almost 2 years. Maybe it's over 2 years. I don't know. And if you're a regular listener, you know that I put out 3 podcasts a week. And now there was, and if you are a regular listener, I just want to let you know what happened, because you might have noticed that there was probably a month where no new episodes came out. And you want to know why? Because I had every customer service group out there trying to figure out what was going on. I had BCast, which is where my episode sits. I had Apple customer service, Spotify customer service on it. And the only platform that got back to me was Spotify. Thank you, Spotify. You guys are amazing, and actually looked into the problem. There was a character in one of the descriptions that stopped all the episodes from going out. I don't know what it was. I don't know what character it was. I can't even remember because I had to go in because they said you've got this one character that it put a halt. It created a halt, like it halted everything. And as soon as I removed it, I think it was like a happy face or something, some emoji or like character. As soon as I removed it, everything started flooding through. But it took that long. So I want to apologize to you guys for, I hope you guys came back and are continuing to listen. And because for a while, it was like, I don't know. I didn't notice. And then it's just like after maybe 2 weeks, I was like, what's going on? And then, it took a while to figure it out. So I just want to thank you for being loyal and coming back, because at that time I had just hit 175,000 downloads, and that just halted because only my podcast episodes were going out on Google Podcast. And then it was, a couple hundred, literally all the other platforms stopped. And so happy that we figured it out. Crazy as it is. Now, let's get into the stats. Now, I use BCast, and BCast is amazing. They have amazing analytics, and they've improved that over the period that I've been working with them. So here we are, guys. We are sitting at 191,000 downloads. So roughly we have 14,000 listeners, which is mind-blowing. And we average now, it was way better before that epic whatever happened. We're back to about 2,500 to 3,000 downloads a week. And thank you, or is that an episode? I'm not quite sure. So here are the top 10 episodes. All right, so I was kind of surprised. The number one is my first episode, which is me introducing myself. And if you're here, I want to ask you if you listened to it. And because I'm like, should I update that? You know, because the guy that helped me get my podcast started, he's like, make it sweet and short and sweet. And so I'm like, you know, a lot of things have happened in the last 2 years. I'm like, should I, you know, relaunch and upload a new one? Anyways, what do you think? Should I upload a new one? The second one is episode 80, which is Steven Seiler. So he is super big on Twitter, and he's also a really technical sports physiologist, and it was, I want to tell you something, it was so intimidating. Like, he intimidated me beyond belief, like, doing that episode, and I can't believe we talked for that long. But anyways, he was amazing. Number 3 was episode 218, taking my summer back. So that was one that I did. Number 4 was 175, which was Gravel Cup with Brandon. So talking about how he started the Gravel Cup series. Number 5 is 181, Coast to Coast. So that was Mark and Matt Acker talking about their event. The next one, number 6, was number 2, Ed Vale. So he's a Canadian paracycling tandem rider for Team Canada. Super nice guy. Number 7, 189, Barry Roubaix with Matt Acker. So, and then number 8, 194, 8 tips on how to prepare for your first century. And I think I should do another one. 8 tips on how to prepare for your first gravel event. Because they're totally different. Number 9, 152. Mine was the aging athlete. And then number 10, 214. The A-Linker walking bike. I'm so inspired by that one. So thank you for making those top 10 in the episodes. Now let's go over to the countries, because I just thought that this was super, like, we were in like 35 countries and now we're in 41. So I just want to show you guys the top 5 are the US with 66%. Okay. Then Canada's at 14. I mean, I'm Canadian. Like, come on, Canada. Seriously. Then the UK is number 5. I've interviewed a lot of people from the UK. Amazing people and so passionate about their cycling. It's ridiculous how amazing their cycling platform or infrastructure, and like just how they run their cycling there is unreal. And then we have the Netherlands, which is number 4, and then Australia, which is number 5. And I'm going to just... So, like, 41 countries is mind-boggling, and I'm so grateful for those who have found me in those countries. Keep listening. So, that kind of brings me to the end of this episode. I want to actually invite all of you to my Facebook community. Now, I'm going to put the link in the descriptions, and my Facebook community is wrapped around cycling, fitness, nutrition, and community, of course. And that's where I go and I talk about motivation and health and wellness and cycling tips, and so it's just a great safe place for you. So if you're a listener and you're looking for a place like a community to be part of, I encourage you to go and go to the link in the description and join us. Join us on Facebook. It's my Cycle Fitness platform. It's a private group. You have to answer some questions to get in there. And then you have access to me as a cycling coach. You can ask questions. You can join in if you're local. I have local clinics and also give out, and I do free coaching. So I encourage you to jump in there because it's July. And I would assume that about this time, or maybe in the next couple of weeks, you're starting to think about how you can train for next year and what kind of events that you're looking at based on this year's performance and this year's experience. And because I know I am, like, how am I going to set up my training? Is it going to start earlier? Is it going to start later? What am I going to do? How am I going to set it up? What are my goals for next year? It's crazy that it's starting this early, but I know that I'm not alone. So make sure you jump in, join my community. I'd love to have you there, my Cycle Fitness community, and together we can train for next year's events. So with that, have an amazing day. And thank you for being so patient, and have a great weekend. Love you guys, and keep listening. Please share. And don't forget, you can go on to YouTube and watch and listen any of the episodes that are your favorites, because it's really kind of cool to be able to see the people who are talking. Even though audio is great, but you can go there and see all of them. You can also follow on our Instagram page. That's another great platform where I put on some coaching tips on the stories and things like that. So check those out in the show notes, and have an amazing one. Take care, guys.
Thank you so much for spending this time with me on the Secrets from the Saddle podcast, learning more about sighting people, places, and things that make cycling such an exciting sport. I am so glad you stopped by today. Please leave me a review if you feel so moved to do so. I would love to hear your feedback. And if you could take 1 second to share this episode with someone you think would enjoy it, I would be forever grateful. Also, if you could please leave me a review if you feel so moved by going to iTunes and leaving me an honest thought and an honest comment, telling me what you think, and most importantly, tell me what you'd like to hear more of. It would really help me to bring more great, inspiring cycling stories to you. Until then, have an amazing day. Make sure you ride your bike. And don't forget to visit my YouTube channel if you'd like to see the full version of this podcast live.